Hey everyone, this is Kristen Woodall, the president of the College Panhellenic Council here at UNG, and today I'm going to share some information and resources to help you understand positive Panhellenic contact and the 2020 policy on promoting the sorority experience from NPC. All right, so first we're going to get started with what positive Panhellenic contact is according to NPC, and then how I like to explain it as well. So NPC explains positive Panhellenic contact as chapter members promoting personal and informative Panhellenic spirited contact with potential new members at all times year-round. And I like to explain it as just having a focus of the community or a Panhellenic mindset in all of your interactions and the way that you promote recruitment in the community during the fall and summer semester, as well as during recruitment. So if you think about it as recruiting to get women to join the community and not necessarily your specific chapter. And it's important to keep in mind that any woman could be a PNM. You never know who isn't in our community or who might be interested in joining our community. So treating every person the same as someone who could potentially be joining the community. So next we can look at who is in charge of deciding the rules and regulations over positive Panhellenic contact. So first, NPC, which is the National Panhellenic Council, defines PPC and the guidelines that come with it in the Manual of Information, which is our big overarching government document that guides the Panhellenic Council as well as all 26 NPC chapters, not just the chapters that we have here on campus. So I have inserted in clip on the left-hand side of, some policy whenever it comes to marketing and promotion to have a positive Panhellenic spirit. And then furthermore, our Panhellenic Council here at UNG further specifies positive Panhellenic contact to the chapters. And we put that in our bylaws and our recruitment agreements. And then we are the ones that provide discernment whenever it comes to PPC-related matters, circumstances, instances that may occur that someone in the community brings to us out of concern or that get brought up from a PNM. Next, I have some examples of ways to display positive Panhellenic contact. So first, I would say don't be nearsighted. Think about the community as a whole and what we can provide to PNMs. So my hope and my goal here is that you have found your home in your own organization, and that is the best fit for you. But that also means that in our community of close to 500 women, that 400 other women have found their home and their best fit somewhere else. We need to keep that in mind whenever we're interacting with PNMs as well, that even though we've found our best fit in Apple Beta Pi sorority, they may find their best fit somewhere else. And at the end of the day, we want for them to gain the membership benefits of our community overall. Next, I would say get to know PNMs that you interact with often. Odds are that you're going to come in contact with PNMs in some form or fashion, whether that's you're in a different club or organization where you see PNMs, or whether that's in your classes or just around campus. Odds are that you're going to come in contact with someone not in our community. And anyone not in our community could potentially join our community, which makes them a potential new member. So I would say whenever you're interacting with them, get to know the women that you see in those circumstances, but don't go seeking out women to interact with. Next, I would say focus on the goal at hand. So we have 5 amazing NPC organizations. We have our culturally based organization, and we have 2 organizations that are gender inclusive. All of these organizations offer similar membership benefits, whether that's help with academics, whether that is philanthropy, whether that is the friendships and sisterhoods that we gain in our organizations. We all offer those same things, just in different ways. So I would say focus on the goal of getting women to recruitment first, and then during the week of recruitment, we can focus on finding where they fit best. But we can't do that if they don't come to recruitment first. And so that should be our goal, especially throughout the fall semester. And lastly, just be a good example around campus. You never know who might be watching you. You never know who might be thinking about joining the community and basing their decisions on what they see from members in the community. So at the end of the day, just be an example of your chapter's values and live those out daily so that you can be a good example around campus and so that you can be someone that sets a positive example in your chapter as well. Now I'm going to share some tips of things to avoid whenever it comes to positive Panhellenic contact that can potentially be breaking positive Panhellenic contact or even go further to be bid promising. So first, like I mentioned before, get to know the PNMs that you meet on a day-to-day basis or that you might be around, but refrain from what's called cold calling PNMs. So don't reach out to a woman that you don't know. This might have implications to that woman, and whether you realize it or not, there is a power dynamic that exists between someone that is in a sorority and someone that wants to be in a sorority. So whether you have good intentions or not, that can be misconstrued to a PNM, and she may either feel weird or uncomfortable about someone she doesn't know reaching out to her, or she may take that as a sign that you are trying to pursue her for your chapter. Next, I would say refrain from talking about recruitment with PNMs. And this is because we don't expect for every chapter member to know everything about all of the organizations on campus and what they provide to our PNMs. But we do expect for our executive council members and our RCs to know this information, and we handpick them and train them in this manner. So I would say if a PNM has specific questions about recruitment or the recruitment process, to point her in the direction of a recruitment counselor or someone on the recruitment team, which is anyone on the executive council for Panhellenic. And instead, you can talk about your experience with recruitment or your experience in your chapter, but try to point PNMs in the direction of an RC or someone on the recruitment team if they have questions. Next, I would say refrain from only talking about your chapter. Again, this kind of goes back to keeping in mind the overall goal here is we want for women to join the community and for women to find their best fit. So whenever you only talk about your chapter, you are only providing one perspective to that woman, and we want for her to come into recruitment with as open of a mind on the outcome as possible. We also want to keep in mind that, again, all of our chapters offer very similar membership benefits, just in different ways. So if a PNM asks you questions about your specific chapter, you can definitely answer that, but spin it into a way that provides information about the rest of the community as well. So during the fall semester especially, we want to be focusing on membership benefits of the entire community and the sorority experience as a whole, and not just the sorority experience in Apple Beta Pi sorority. Last, I would say refrain from spending an excessive amount of time with PNMs. You may have pure intentions in wanting to get to know this girl that you just met at a philanthropy event or that you just met at Move-In, and she is a super cool girl. However, she may see things differently. Again, that power dynamic exists. And so if you are spending a lot of time with a PNM, or if you are having her meet with a lot of your sisters, or constantly inviting her to events or to meet with sisters, she may see this as already having an in with your chapter. And she may see this as a way of her closing her perspective to the rest of our organizations on campus without you ever meaning to. So she may come into sorority recruitment already wanting that one chapter because that's the only chapter that she's interacted with. And we, again, want to keep her mind as open as possible throughout the recruitment process because she may find her home somewhere else. So now you might be asking, why does all of this matter? Why does it matter that I have a Panhellenic mindset during the fall semester whenever my sorority has made such a big impact on me, and you just want to share that with PNMs and get them really excited about your organization? That's very understandable. However, NPC, the National Panhellenic Council, really focuses on parity, which just means creating an equal playing field and kind of having the same for each of our chapters on campus. This is why we have to have similar new member class sizes in the spring and in the fall, and this is why we have total for our chapters as well. And so whenever you break positive Panhellenic contact and you really show your sorority and kind of close the mind of a PNM, you're giving your chapter an unfair advantage, even if you don't mean to at all, even if you just want to show how great your sorority is and the impact that it's had on you to PNMs. At the same time, from a PNM perspective, if a PNM is only seeing how great your chapter is and isn't really keeping in mind the other chapters whenever she's coming to recruitment, she's coming in very close-minded. And if she gets dropped from your chapter during the process, she might then have a negative perspective on you, on your chapter, on all of our sororities here, and even maybe the university. I've seen before last year where a woman got dropped from a chapter and ended up completely leaving the university because of it. And at the end of the day, we don't always have control over who gets into our chapters. Not every chapter votes for the women that join their chapter. Sometimes it's just the advisor that makes that decision. And because of that, sometimes PNMs that would be great sisters in our chapter end up going somewhere else, because at the end of the day, all of our chapters can offer similar things to PNMs in their membership benefits, just in different ways. And so we want for women to find their home in our community and keep as open of a mind as possible to the different options because of that. Okay, now let's look at some scenarios of really common things that happen on our campus. And I want to clear up some misconceptions or miscommunications that have occurred because of these things. So the first scenario is, after getting to know a PNM through another club on campus, you think she'd be a great sister. You try to encourage her to go through recruitment by telling her that she would make a great sister. This is breaking positive Panhellenic contact because of this. It's great that you're getting to know a PNM through another club or organization, and it is amazing that you think that she would be a great sister in addition to your chapter. However, you don't want to tell a PNM that she would make a great sister or that she would be a great XYZ member, because she may take that to mean that she already has an end with your chapter, or that that's where she should end up in the end. It might cause her to be closed-minded coming into the process of recruitment. Next, we have posting Go Apple Beta Pie on your social media. This happens a lot, and it's understandable because your sorority hopefully has made such an impact on you that you want for other PNMs to experience that too. However, there might be a PNM who only follows your social media, no one else's, no other chapter's social media. And if she sees you saying, Go Apple Beta Pie, join my sorority, we're the best, anything like that, she may see that as, if she wants to be like you and she sees you as an idol, then she has to join your sorority for that to take place, when that's not the case. Lastly, we have the scenario of, after meeting a great PNM at a philanthropy event, you reach out to her on Instagram to see if she wants to get coffee. This is breaking positive Panhellenic contact because you shouldn't be cold calling PNMs. If you happen to run into her at a different club event or another organization or around on campus, by all means, don't be weird. Talk to her. Be a normal human being and be a good example and a good person. But you shouldn't be reaching out to a PNM to meet up with them or to get coffee or to get to know them if you don't previously know them from another club or organization or from your hometown or previously to being in a sorority, because that creates that power dynamic that we talked about where you are in an organization and the PNM is not in an organization but wants to be. Next, we're going to look at something called promoting the sorority experience. And this is something that is taking place specifically for recruitment 2021, so this upcoming recruitment, and it was put into place by NPC starting the summer of 2020 because of the coronavirus. So we'll talk a little bit about promoting the sorority experience, what it is, how it differs from positive Panhellenic contact. So like I mentioned, promoting the sorority experience is a policy that was put in place in 2020 during the summer because of the changes that we had to make because of the coronavirus. So promoting the sorority experience overall is being intentional in reaching out to PNMs to get them to join the community through recruitment. And I know you're thinking, Kristen, you just told me I can't reach out to PNMs. I can't cold call PNMs. This is definitely true for positive Panhellenic contact. But because of the way that we have had to change our events and that we're not able to be as intentional with PNMs and getting to recruit them to the process of getting them to come to recruitment, promoting the sorority experience, this policy that has now taken into place allows for us to directly communicate with PNMs to get them to join the community. This is still not getting them to join your individual chapter, but still having a Panhellenic mindset. So you might be asking, what does promoting the sorority experience even look like? So first, I would say be ready to share your sorority experience as well as the overall benefits of joining the community. This is the same as promoting positive Panhellenic contact. So we still want to be talking about our own experiences as well as the overall membership benefits. Next, this is a little bit different than positive Panhellenic contact. Reach out to women you know to encourage them to promote the sorority experience and encourage them to go through recruitment, but allow them to make their own decisions as to where they find their home. So normally with positive Panhellenic contact, you would not be able to reach out to PNMs. You wouldn't be able to cold call them. But because of the coronavirus, we do want for as many women to have the opportunity to find their home as possible. And our Panhellenic Instagram, the chapter's Instagrams and social medias aren't enough to reach as many PNMs as we want to join the community. So this is where it falls on individual chapter members to reach out to PNMs that you know to encourage them to go through recruitment. But we're still not encouraging them to only join your sorority. We still want for them to find where their best fit is going to be and to keep an open mind going into the recruitment process. Lastly, promoting the sorority experience is maintaining a social media presence and interact with PNMs to promote the overall sorority experience, encourage participation in recruitment, and answer questions about joining a sorority. I would still say if PNMs have questions about the recruitment process or going through recruitment, to point them in the direction of someone on the recruitment team or a recruitment counselor, but you can still speak on your experiences through recruitment and your experiences about joining a sorority, and we still want for women to participate in recruitment. If you don't have social media, you don't have to maintain a social media presence. I'm not saying get a social media account because of promoting the sorority experience, but if you don't have social media, make sure that you are interacting with PNMs on campus or in your classes or in other clubs and organizations and really be promoting joining a sorority to them. You can see some examples of some communication here that NPC has provided to us about things that are okay to say to PNMs. I would say wait until a PNM reaches out to you unless you know of PNMs specifically from other clubs and organizations or maybe from high school or things like that that you can reach out to. So here are some examples of what is not considered promoting the sorority experience. First of all, PNMs shouldn't be learning about the specifics of your chapter right now. That's what recruitment is for. During the fall, we want to recruit them to the system. We want to recruit them to the community. And then during recruitment, we get to show them all of the special things about our chapters. Second of all, outreach and interactions with PNMs should not be singular to one organization. So you don't want to have only one organization reaching out to PNMs. If this is something that we're going to do, we need to all commit to reaching out to PNMs that we know. Third, communication through social media shouldn't bombard a PNM with messages from multiple women in your chapter. We see this happen every year where PNMs receive a bunch of social media follows from women in one chapter. This is breaking positive Panhellenic contact, but this is also not acceptable for promoting the sorority experience because we want for women to have an opportunity to get to know women in various chapters on campus and not just one chapter. The last thing is conversations shouldn't pressure a PNM. They shouldn't imply that she would receive a bid, and they shouldn't encourage her in any way to not keep an open mind throughout the recruitment process. So you'll see some examples over here on the right about what is breaking positive or promoting the sorority experience. You don't want to be promoting your own chapter during this time. Again, you don't want to be promoting your own chapter during this time. You want to be promoting the sorority experience as a whole and the benefits and the great things about our whole sorority community. So to wrap up, overall, if it's not something that you would do as a member of another club or organization, don't do it simply because you're a sorority woman. If you wouldn't reach out to other women or other members on campus because you're in, I don't know, XYZ organization on campus, don't do it because you're a sorority woman. If you have questions about if what you're doing could be breaking positive Panhellenic contact or promoting the sorority experience, stay on the side of caution and don't do it. Make sure to ask questions to your VPR or a member of Panhellenic for clarification for the future, but it's not worth changing a PNM's experience through recruitment or changing her perception of our community because you're so excited about your own chapter. And lastly, don't be weird around PNMs. In no way is this me telling you to not interact with PNMs or me telling you that you can't get to know a PNM. I'm just saying that we need to do it in a way that promotes our community overall and just be a nice, normal, friendly human being to them, and they will want to join our organizations because of that. They're going to find where their best fit is and where their home is. And at the end of the day, that is the goal, not for them to find their best fit in your organization.